Hey, this is DecoyNoise, and today, me and you are going to cover another Am I the Antagonist thread, and am I the antagonist for telling my girlfriend to not dye her hair and get angry when she did? So as always, after I read the story, we take it over to Decoy Court where I give you my knee-jerk reaction, then I'll read over some of the top comments and the controversial comments, and the best comment on this video itself will be pinned to the top and earn that Decoy Koi coin, which is going to be worth something at some point in time, but let's go ahead and read what OP has to say. They wrote, "Read this. I know the title sounds bad. This has been really bugging me, so here we go. Throwaway, and all fake names, by the way. So Sarah, a 24-year-old female, I'm a 25-year-old male girlfriend, now ex I guess, always had these random style changes I guess. Like one day she'd wear skirts or a simple dress shirt, and the next she's wearing shorts and crop tops, halter tops, tank tops, etc. So her style changes a lot. It bothered me, since she's very attractive, and whenever we'd go out, she gets stares and has even gotten hit on because they think she's single. So she wanted to get highlights, and her sister had this store-bought highlight thingy, and before the pandemic, she borrowed it to do it, and I managed to convince her not to do it, so she forgot about it, and now she remembered and wanted to get dark purple highlights. I rather prefer girls with undyed hair. It's just a preference, so I told her that I'd rather she not do that, since it wouldn't look good on her, and she'd ruin her hair. She told me she thinks it'll look good on her, and plus she'll be able to highlight them brown, or fully dye it back to brown if she doesn't like it. I told her I wouldn't like it, since it would ruin her hair. I didn't mean to come off controlling. She just shrugged, and we went to sleep after that. I thought that was the end of it, but then the next day I woke up to her making breakfast with purple highlighted hair. I asked her why she did that, since I told her it wouldn't look good. I still didn't like it. She said she had a change of heart, and it shouldn't matter what she looks like, because personality matters. Then I said to her, she should have told me if she was going to do it, and she asked why. I told her I'd rather know if my girlfriend was going to damage her hair. I should have chosen my words better. She got all defensive and told me that I shouldn't have to have a say in what she does with her hair and how I manipulated her last time. So amidst the whole fight, the breakfast got burned, and we were too busy arguing, so it was too late to save the food, and we had to throw away food. I was tired, so I said out of anger, wouldn't have happened if you just listened to me and stopped being a child. Sarah then started yelling at me again, saying I should cook food for myself and that she shouldn't have to be my maid. I told her that she does those things by herself. I can cook and clean, but she does that, so I see no reason to dismantle the system. And she likes cooking. Then when I thought the fight was over and that she would make breakfast while I cleaned the bedroom, yes, I do clean the room sometimes, she made breakfast for herself, not me, and told me she's leaving and she's done with me. And now that she's at her friend's house. This happened a few days ago, but I feel like she overreacted. So, am I the antagonist, Reddit? So as always, the story is the story. We take it over to Decoy Court to give you my knee-jerk reaction, and the idea is, obviously, this is very clear-cut that, he's in the wrong, and this happened for a long time coming because of his controlling behavior. But the one thing I guess I'll kind of take a different path on this is, Exhibit A is, why do people insist on being in these wishy-washy relationships? Like, I know there's a controlling behavior aspect to this, but, the subtext of this is nobody dating their dream partner is out there trying to, push the boundaries. Like, I've been on both sides of both of these kind of relationships, and when you're dating somebody and it's going okay, but you're not sure how far it's going to go, you don't really care. But when you're dating someone and you're ecstatic on how well it's going, and they're an amazing person, and their values line up with yours, and you're just really into their outward appearance too, you're doing everything you can to be like, wow, I thank you for making me so happy. Let me try to make you happy too. And I'm sure if this girlfriend was, really into acting and movies and tall, dark, and handsome men, and she's dating Idris Elba, I doubt she's trying to figure out ways to make him less attracted to her. And the idea is, if I was dating my celebrity crush who just happened to love and support my podcast and wanted to shower my family with, love and care, and just happened to love clean-cut Asian guys with straight hair, guess who's shaving and getting a flat iron? I don't care. That's just what I would do in this situation. It doesn't make you less of a person because you strive for someone's affection. It just means that you speak the same love language as them and they're fully committed to the relationship. I've dated girls that wanted to know absolutely everything that I'm into and tried to be exactly like that. And then I've dated girls and I'm pretty sure my number wasn't even saved in their phone. It doesn't mean anything about me or devalue me as a person. It just means that dating is dating and you're learning from experience and you're just figuring out who you are. But back to this story, it just didn't seem like she was too interested. Exhibit B would be she doesn't value OP. When she starts to slightly detract from him, he turns around and doubles down on what's likely his most unattractive quality, his possessiveness and controlling behavior. If anything was gonna push her away faster, it was showing how insecure of a person he was overall, with the whole like, oh yeah, she gets hit on and changes her styles, I don't like it. You know, it's very sad to say, but you know, if she just Fresh Prince you, this was probably planned. And you know, I'm just making it up, but like, you know, I say Fresh Princing is, you know, the theme song of, we got in one little fight and my mom got scared and said, we're moving with your auntie and uncle ballet, whatever. But it's, you know, the idea that it's like, you know, sad to say, I know girls that plan arguments with their boyfriends. Like, oh yeah, Vegas trip. Okay, me and the boyfriend will be on break by then. Or like, you know, Coachella. Oh yeah, we'll start fighting. So it's just gonna be the sorority girlies on this trip. Like, you know, that's just 2020, whatever. But back to judging OP and OP only. I'm gonna go ahead and say he's the antagonist very lightly, because it just seems like he's unequipped to deal with a relationship. Like, nobody's sound of mind, completely control of their life and their emotions, gets possessive and angry at the idea of changing hair color or her changing her style of outfits. You know, if he could take this as a lesson and learn how to improve himself, great. But if not, he's just gonna go down this lonely and bitter path of just a miserable life of not understanding why no one likes him and why no one wants to, you know, adhere to his relationship guidelines, because he just doesn't understand like why he's feeling that way and what he can do to better himself, and you know, what relationships he should be in, because there are gonna be times where people are just gonna hear what your feedback is and be like, okay, you're not into that? Okay, cool, I don't want to do that then. That being said, maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being this terrible misogynist person in my head. Who knows? Let me know down below and earn yourself that Decoy coin. Take a brief break and give me feedback down there before we read those top and controversial comments. And then maybe after you hear those comments, you change your mind and also update your comment, because I want to see that. But let's go ahead and read the top comment, which is, yeah, you're the antagonist. You have a really condescending way of talking about your girlfriend and seem pretty insecure about the fact that she dresses in what she wants and clearly feels confident in herself. She's allowed to dye her hair, and you're allowed to not really like it, but dang, she's right in leaving. Also, dyeing your hair doesn't ruin it. I hope she finds someone who appreciates her for who she is. And let's just be clear, like, I didn't really want to attack OP, that's why I try to do something that was maybe like more beneficial, like relationship advice for this guy, but just the idea that all of the things that he was saying was just him trying to keep his girlfriend in this little box so she couldn't ever find someone that was better than him. And the whole defensiveness and possessiveness is just the whole idea where it's like, yeah, I liked her when she wore like long sleeves and bulky sweaters so other guys couldn't see her and hit on her because they think she's single. Wow, she looks better and she'll have purple hair and other guys will like it. Oh, what do I do? Stop it. Like, that was all him just being scared that she was outgrowing him, which, you know, may or may not be the truth. But the idea, if that's his reality in his mind and he's always acting as if she's just doing things to get something better than him, he's gonna manifest it into reality. So speak it into existence. So let's go ahead and read the next reply with, and for having an issue with not wearing the same kind of clothes every day, which is such a bizarre thing. This was just him having personal issues in his mind, and it was just coming out in weird, random ways that he just doesn't understand it, and he's just digging himself a deeper hole. So let's go ahead and read the next top reply, which is, you typed this, proofread it, and still thought everyone would agree with you. You're the antagonist. She didn't overreact. Okay, and they said, edit, I went to bed satisfied with my 50 likes and woke up with 14K likes and silver, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I don't like the whole the award speech after you make a successful comment. I would like to thank my mom and my dog for getting me 14K likes on a post. Shut up. Like, I'm not a fan of that. The YouTube equivalency of like, oh yeah, who's watching this in Zimbabwe, or who's watching this in 2030 or whatever. So let's go ahead and read the next top reply, which is, you're the antagonist. This post is gross, but I like the happy ending where she stood up for herself and left you to wallow in your misogyny. And here's the thing, is I wasn't trying to defend him. I was just trying to say like, hey, well, I was defending him in the sense that he just needs to learn a big lesson, and hopefully he's not a bad guy. He's just a angry, misguided person. But the idea is, yes, he needed to sit there and just like think about what he did, and just the idea that, hey, that's not acceptable behavior. You need to figure this out. You need to become a better person. And the idea is, this was gross. This was just him trying to control a girl that was likely better than him. But you don't want to blast somebody. The idea of the next post was, she got awesome new hair and lost 170 pounds. Why are they guessing how much he weighs? I don't get that, or whatever. But let's go ahead and read the next top reply, which is, you're the antagonist, a controlling one. It's her hair. You really wanted to control her hair that bad that you break up? And here's the thing, is he kept on trying to harp on the idea that the only reason I didn't want her to change her hair is because it would damage it. And if she changes her hair and she doesn't tell me that she's going to damage her hair, I should know as the boyfriend. It's like, shut up. Like, it was nothing to do with that. It was all about control. It was all about keeping them in that tightly sealed box where you couldn't lose her, because, I mean, Okay, you know what? I don't want to bully OP. He's learning his lesson. So let's go ahead and read the reply to that. So it says, sometimes Reddit really makes me really appreciate more my boyfriend than I really do. I'm that person who always changes her hair. I won't find out until months later, if at all, that my boyfriend didn't like that certain color. I'll ask if he didn't tell me why he didn't tell me then. I would have changed it. A lot of hair dye. It's your hair. You can do what you want with it. And here's the thing is, like, you know, the different love languages, like I subscribe to that idea, and maybe the boyfriend just doesn't care too much about the outwards appearance, the hair. If you want to do wacky things with the hair, have at it. It makes you happy. I don't really personally care, and that's cool for her. For him, for her, it's the idea that, like I was saying before, where she wants to do wacky hair but still wants to adhere to what her boyfriend's preferences are, which is great. It seems like she's really into her boyfriend. She reads this post and is like, man, I really like my boyfriend. And here's the thing is, she would rather dye her hair a color that her boyfriend likes and appreciates. If the boyfriend stood up and said, I like blue and red hair, I'm not sure when you do dye your hair, you know, purple and green, does it make her a bad person? Does it make OP, or does it make her boyfriend a misogynist for having a preference? No, it doesn't. It's just the idea that we should be in relationships where the significant other is actually ecstatic to be with us, where we're like appreciated and they want to do things for each other. The idea that, like, you know, OP right here wants to be in a relationship with a girl that, you know, he has to force her to feel or do certain things, and, you know, the girlfriend has to, you know, rebel against him by changing her hair in specific colors just to kind of get away. Like, this should have been, that relationship should have been done, I don't know, maybe years ago, months ago, maybe shouldn't have been around, but who knows. But like I always say, the top posts have given us good perspective. Let's go ahead and read some controversial posts to see if there's anything else we're missing. This person writes, you're the antagonist. Why would you do that to your now ex-girlfriend? Seriously, an antagonist. Let me tell you of a person your girlfriend should be with. Someone like my brother loves natural hair. Do you know what color hair his girlfriend has? Purple and pink. Do you know what he says when she sends us photos of her new color for hair? She is so beautiful. That's what a boyfriend should say. That is how a boyfriend acts to his girlfriend. Guess what else? My brother doesn't get jealous of other guys looking at his girlfriend. He spends so much money on her favorite brands of clothing. He takes pictures of her in her new clothes. Some show off an amazing figure, others cleavage. Then he goes on how hot his girlfriend is. I have to agree that she is very sexy in her clothes. Thankfully, my brother is confident enough in his relationship to not be anything like you. And here's the thing, is I don't want to have this situation where you're bearing like false equivalency, where it's like, you know, my brother does these things, so why don't you do exactly those things that makes you a better person? Obviously, OP needs to fix his mannerisms, but I would never want to say, hey, I have this one isolated incident of a guy that's doing it right. Do everything he does and change your personality, change your value system, change what you're into, change the idea that, you know, you like dyed hair, whatever it may be, and then you'll be fixed. And if the person, either OP says that, it's like, okay, I can never be that, so let me just keep continuing down the path of being bitter and resentful and trying to change these girls I'm around because that's what works and I'll never be like that. Or it's going to make him, okay, cool, I'll become completely submissive, I'll let girls do whatever they want to hair, I'll date any girl with any hair color and I'll just be okay with it, so then they never feel comfortable in their own skin. It's about, don't change the person, just be a more accepting person, and, you know, find someone that caters to your needs because they like catering to the needs. Like, I've dated girls where they would absolutely hate the idea if I was like, you know, I'm not a really big fan of like bright green hair or something, and they would hate me for that. Does it just means we're incompatible? Doesn't mean I'm trying to control the person. I'm like, okay, I guess we're not going to work out or whatever. Like, that's what it comes down to. I don't like the idea that, you know, they're trying to teach the wrong lesson. So the next post over here was, you're the antagonist, and another one got removed by the moderator. So the next controversial post actually survived the culling was, you're the antagonist. Even though you didn't mean to be controlling, you were. You can have a preference, but you don't get to bring it up when your partner wants to change their appearance. You can say something positive when they do something you like, I like that outfit, but you can't say something negative when you don't. Like, I like you better in jeans. So being polite, I understand that. You don't ever want to be like mean to people when they do something like about it. And I understand that. Like, you know, if someone I was dating came home with something that I just wasn't a fan of, it would just be like, cool, you're not going to compliment it. You're not going to, you just be like, okay, cool. It is what it is, whatever it may be. If they ask you, is there something wrong with it? Maybe you give them honest feedback. Like, oh, I'm just not a fan of that particular thing. And here's the thing is, they're almost telling you like, hey, don't be control. It's like, you didn't want to mean to be controlling, but you were. So here's how you train a dog: a positive reinforcement. Give them a treat whenever they do something good, and you know, turn your back to them when they do something you don't like. That's such a bizarre way of going about it. That it's like, I understand why this is in the controversial section, because it's giving someone that has you know, is low social awareness and doesn't really know how to communicate his wishes and desires and doesn't feel comfortable in his own skin, and you're giving him feedback as to how to train a pet as opposed to a significant other. It's about him coming to terms with, like, you know, what he's like into and what he's not, and, you know, how he should navigate that world. But let's go ahead and read more controversial replies, which are just, you're the antagonist, with a whole bunch of red flags. Another person saying, you're the antagonist. By the way, I don't like men who post obnoxiously sexist stuff. You should be an adult and stop posting. Didn't like that, huh? That's why you're the antagonist. So here's the thing is, you can be a bad person and learn better. Like, who's that? There's a black guy that goes around and he meets white men that are in the Ku Klux Klan and befriends them and makes them better people and takes them out of their racist mindsets, and now they're better off. So what's better? Like, the idea that this guy could possibly be a sexist and possibly be, you know, think the wrong ways, and you just let them be there and stew them and say, hey, you're obnoxiously sexist. Oh my God, you're this word, you're that word. Shove you away because you don't belong in Am I the Antagonist, which is supposed to be a neutral territory. Let's shove you in this weird, creepy corner of the internet where you're just going to be bombarded with this echo chamber of other people agreeing with you. And then you make some kind of dangerous, scary people that will never experience love the way they should. And the idea that, or you could take it like, you know, I wish I knew that guy's name. Someone post in the comments what that guy's name is. That does amazing work where he tries to make people that are racist not racist anymore. So why don't we take Am I the Antagonist as a neutral ground where we can say, okay, look, maybe you're obnoxiously sexist and maybe this guy is a huge misogynist that needs to learn things. How about you break it down kind of like what I tried to do, in the sense of like, okay, here's why you're feeling the way you are. Here's why you guys weren't compatible. This is the wrong way to approach it. And this is what it is to experience the right kind of love, the right kind of dating, and, you know, try to help them back on the path back into society. Like, you know, the idea is this person right here that's saying you're the antagonist. You're the antagonist. Don't like that, huh? Get off my post or whatever. There would be the same people that say, like, you know, hey, why are we sending all these people to prison when we can rehabilitate them? That's what we're trying to do here. Try to rehabilitate them so you don't send them to this weird, creepy corner of the world where they can never experience life as it was intended. So obviously I'm kind of going on a tangent, but I just don't like the idea where, yes, you disagree with them, you can disagree with me, but don't just blast them with labels and be mean to them. Tell them why they're wrong. Explain why they were wrong and try to make them see light, try to make them better, try to make it so we can all kind of disagree but still come together at the end of the day. Everybody's gonna be much more better off and happy that way. I know I'm doing all sunshine and happinesses right now, so maybe tell me I'm wrong. Give me that, earn yourself that Decoy coin by telling me that something that will make me change my ways, make me think of something different. But as always, if you made it to the very end of the video, I want to thank you for hanging out with me. Subscribe down below with the notifications on, as I'm hearing that people aren't getting all my videos even if they are subscribed, so you need those notifications on. Go to DecoyNoise.com if you'd like to apply to become a moderator for the r/DecoyNoise subreddit or the Discord channel that we will make in the future, or just give me feedback on the channel itself, or just nothing else. Put this on autoplay and watch the next episode of Decoy Noise coming up next.